Hi guys, welcome back to my book channel. I hope you're all having a great day today. I have a lot of books to chat about today. I am doing a book unhaul. I have my bookshelf behind me where I kind of display my favourite books. It holds books that I plan on reading or I'm really excited to read, but I do have a drawer in my bed that I keep the rest of my books. And a lot of those books are still books I want to keep, but a lot of them are ones I've maybe had for a long time, or when I started getting back into reading, I started reading certain books that I thought at the time were really good, and now I need to get rid of them. They are no longer for me. So I don't know if it's actually called a book nook, but I have a kind of like little outdoor library that everybody just like, you take one, you put one back, you can donate them just for people to read. Just a little free library that I found with my boyfriend, and we go to like every time we're in that part of town, and I really want to give back a lot of books because I've picked maybe like 2 or 3 books now, and yeah, I want to put some back for other people. So that's where my books will be going. But I need to talk about some books that I don't know whether I should give away necessarily, and also some books that I've tabbed. I don't know what you do with that. Like, is someone less likely to pick it up? I personally would be more likely to pick up a book that was tabbed. But yeah, should I take them off? I don't know. So let's just dive straight in. I have 2 books here that are the Elsie Silver, what are these, like the something springs or something? What are they called again? It's like cowboy small town romance. I can't remember what they're called. The series itself, I'll put it up on the screen because I'll just look it up. But I've got Flawless and Reckless. I'm probably never going to read these again. I think a lot of Elsie Silver's books are on Kindle Unlimited as well, so I don't really feel the need to purchase her books. I didn't realise that at the time. I don't even think I had Kindle Unlimited at the time that I bought these, so yeah. Everyone raves about this book, Reckless. This is like a lot of people's favourite in the series. I personally liked Flawless more than Reckless, and this, like, I've not continued the rest of the series after this. I have read some of her newer series that is like Wild Love, Wild Card, that kind of, I don't know what it is called. I'm really bad with series names apparently, but that's another kind of small town romance series that I have read and listened to a couple audiobooks as well, and really enjoyed those. But they're kind of just like a palate cleanser for me. They're not the type of books that I adore and really think, oh, I can't wait to reread that. So yeah, these are gonna get donated. Another book that I'm gonna donate is A Touch of Darkness. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling and a kind of dark romance setting. I hated this book. I tabbed it. There's very minimal tabbing going on here, like I was struggling. I was forcing myself to tab because I'd started thinking this book was going to be really good, and I love Greek mythology. A Song of Achilles is my favourite book of all time at the moment, has been for years, ever since I read it, so I went into this really thinking it was going to be amazing, and I just didn't like it. I felt the characters fell flat for me, and I was bored. I was pretty bored, and I couldn't wait to finish it. I put it down so many times, like I can't, but I soldiered through it, and there's a reason that like from this chunk of the book there is only 1 tab, because I was just so bored. I was so bored. I believe, yeah, these tabs I wrote on, so I should maybe take these out. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that would be kind of funny if I left it in? I mean, suppose people could just take them off if they wanted to. I definitely won't be reading this again, nor will I ever be continuing the series, because I read this ages ago, like years ago, so that's another one for the pile. Now, this is a book that I did enjoy. This is Tastes Like Shakkar by Nisha Sharma. I have never read one of her books before, and She has a kind of like comedic romance style, and I didn't love it. I mean, I can completely understand why it's for some people. I just prefer a darker, I don't know, a little bit of a deeper love story. And I don't feel like that's scratched this itch. This is from a series by this author, Dating Dr. Dill. So this is book 2. I got this in one of those like blind book things as a gift, and it was a really, really good gift. I tabbed it, and I think the tabs look so cute. I didn't write on these tabs, so I probably will just leave them. I don't know, it was like a fine read. I read it pretty quickly and it was quite fun. I liked doing my tabs. But it's kind of like it's a Shakespeare play, Much Ado About Nothing. And it's like a retelling of that in the story. I don't know, there were certain parts of the story that just didn't vibe with me, and that's why I'm going to be donating it. This next book is one that I DNF'd years ago. This was one book that I picked up when I first started kind of getting back into reading, and this is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I know a lot of people loved this series and this book in particular. This is Dual Point of View from Rowan and Sarah. I just didn't vibe with the plot of this, and yeah, it just felt a bit flat and like just a bit nothing. I'm really, maybe you can tell, I'm really not a big contemporary romance person. I prefer fantasy romance or romanticities, whatever. They're just a bit more me. I like, like an interesting, intriguing plot, and I don't really like when there's texting or real world things in these scenarios, so I prefer horse and carriage to going in his car, that type of thing. But there's some exceptions in my reading for sure. And kind of dark romances, I don't mind if it's a contemporary plot, because those are quite far-fetched anyway. But yeah, this just wasn't my vibe, and I really thought it would be with the kind of jobs that are going on. But this is like a billionaire, whatever, romance, and I don't know, they just don't always hit for me. So this was unfortunately a DNF, and I don't ever plan on finishing it, nor do I plan on continuing with the series. Oof. Icebreaker. Here is my gorgeous tabs for Icebreaker. This is like maybe the second or third book that I tabbed, and I got these really pretty tabs at this point, and I just always forget that I have them, and I read so much on my Kindle now that I just kind of forget to tab when I do read physical books. But Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I thought this book was great when I first started reading, but I think it was just like my first kind of time reading adult romance, and yeah, sports romance as well. I hadn't really experienced much of that before I read Icebreaker, and I just didn't, I will never reread this, I don't think this is anything special. Maybe I did think of that at the time, but yeah, there was like a lot of back and forth in this book. There was arguments. It just kind of felt like a bit of filler near the end. Yeah, just didn't vibe with it personally. I've read much better sports romance since, so yeah, not for me personally. But like also with this, do I leave the tabs in? Like, what are we thinking? Please, someone let me know. Because what if I'm tabbing really embarrassing things, and like, I don't know, I'm just nervous. I feel like it's quite intimate seeing what someone else is tabbing or like writing in the margins of their books. So do I want just some stranger to see that? But like, this would be gold for me. I would love to stumble upon in my little book nook, my outdoor library, someone's tabbed book. That would be a dream come true. So I feel like I need to start it. And maybe someone else will put in tabbed books in for me to pick up. Oh, I'm going to start a trend. That's what I'm going to do. Oof. Next one. Twisted Love by Anna Huang. Oh my gosh, this is another one that I tabbed. Oof. I hate this book. I hate this book. I found the characters quite cringe. I found the storyline just quite blah. And he sings I feel like that's enough said. It was cringe. It was so cringe, and I stopped reading the series after this. I know that there is like a gold cover one. I think it's book 2. I can't remember what book 2 is called. Twisted Love, maybe? Or Twisted Games? Maybe it's Twisted Games. I don't know. The gold cover one. That's like a bodyguard romance. That does intrigue me because I like that trope. I like a man that needs to protect his women at all costs. However, this writing style just doesn't vibe with me. Yeah. And I just don't know if I want to go back into this series. I know I hear so many people talking about this series, and I just don't think it's for me. I don't think it is. I think I would have picked up the next book in the series by now, because I read this years ago. And I actually have 2 copies of this. This is my tabbed one. I have one that's not tabbed. Yeah, 2 copies. This one is just like matte, and this one has a little bit of shine. So yeah, I somehow accidentally picked up 2 copies of one of my least favourite books in this pile. So these are going to get donated, and hopefully someone finds some happiness in these. Guys, this is like a trip down memory lane. This is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. I read this book after finishing the After series, which I'm going to get into. I think this has been made into a movie, and I think I watched the movie and they've made it into like a comedy. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of a different book. Oh, look at the blurb. Good girl, bad boy, imminent disaster, or the start of something beautiful. Sign me out. Sign me out. I must have read this like in high school or just after high school or something. No, not for me anymore. Don't even think it was at the time. I did not continue the series if there is a book 2. This was just toxic and cringy and yeah, a mess. So yeah, I would not recommend this. I saw someone recommend this because I really liked the After series when I was in high school. I don't anymore, that's why they're in this pile. But I think someone who made a video about loving the After series recommended this. And I will admit they're both about toxic relationship, but with that kind of good girl, bad boy trope. Which, I don't mind that trope, just not how it's done in here or in the After series. So that's another one that is going for the donations. I don't know why Maze Runner is in here. I think I accidentally pulled this out, but this will not be getting donated because I love Maze Runner. So, the After series. Here we have some of... I loved these books. When I first started reading them, I remember watching the movie, After movie, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. And then I read all the books, and I was like, this is great. I just think it's so dragged on. Like, this is a contemporary romance. There should not be so much drama in here. I don't know. It doesn't hit the same anymore. And this is seriously toxic. It's so toxic. I think I've watched a lot of the movies as well, and I can say the exact same for that. They are very toxic and very cringe at points. Yeah, there's a reason I liked them when I was younger. But yeah, they don't stand the test of time in my opinion. I am pretty sure these are developed from a Harry Styles fanfic, which probably is why in high school I was like, need to get them, love me a bit of that, you know, struggling toxic relationship with a bad boy. No, these don't stand the test of time. They don't, so they're going in the pile. I also have the Fifth Wave series here. Fifth Wave, The Infinite Sea, and The Last Star. As you can see, based on the cracked spines, I read both of these when I was like, I think maybe 15 or 16 or something. I read these. I loved these. These are some of the reasons that I love that kind of dystopian, apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic world type of vibe, and I find a lot of that in fantasy now. But I don't know, I've just not been drawn to reading these. I never actually finished the series, but I've read both of these books twice. I never pushed through far enough to read book 3, so I think that kind of says a lot to me that I'm probably not going to read these anytime soon. and I should just give them to someone else that maybe really wants to read this series. So yeah, The Fifth Wave is another one that I'm probably going to put in this, but these are super nostalgic for me, so I don't know, maybe I should hold on to them, because if I had all the room in the world to have a big library, I would probably want to have these books. But saying that, I used to crack these spines and I don't do that anymore, so maybe I wouldn't want these specific copies on my shelf. But yeah, let me know if you guys have read the Fifth Wave series and if you have read book 3 and I should finish this series. I loved these when I read them, and I really, really loved the Fifth Wave movie as well. I think that was actually a really good adaptation. But I remember reading the books and there were so many kind of missed out parts or slightly different parts. So maybe I should keep this. I don't know. If you guys have read this, let me know. And last but not least, I have What Lies Beyond the Veil. This is by Harper L. Woods. I remember quite liking this book. I think I kind of devoured it at the time. This is another one of the kind of romantasy genre that I first started reading when I was getting back into reading, and I remember quite liking this. I was quite drawn into the storyline, and I liked the characters. They're kind of like this rebellion group, and yeah, from what I can remember, it was fairly interesting, but for some reason I have not continued the series. I also think these are maybe on Kindle Unlimited, so that's another reason that I might just donate it, because I don't feel the need to keep a hold of this book when I'm not massively in love with it, and someone else might find a series that they really enjoy in this. And yeah, I want to empty out like a lot of my books as well, so that I can buy other books and have space for them, because I bought my bookshelf at the start of the year for that exact reason and it's full. So I bought my bookshelf and I filled it with more books, even though I already had a book overflow problem. So that's why I'm doing this book unhaul. But yeah, if you guys have read the rest of This Is the Of Flesh and Bone series, if you guys have read more of it, let me know in the comments how you feel about it, if you think I should read it. Let me know. I would definitely need to reread this book if I was going to do that though. Look how pretty. I love that. I love when there's a little illustration in there. I remember there being a massive twist at the end of this book, which I'm surprised that didn't lead me to reading book 2. I don't know why, because that's one of the main things that I still remember about this book. So yeah, I'm not sure why I was not drawn into book 2. So this and this pile are the piles that I'm going to donate, and this one is, these are maybe, and this is not supposed to be here. So yeah, I'm giving back to my little book nook that has served me well so far. Saying that, I've not read the books that I've took from the book nook. I have one on my bedside table that I'm intending on reading, but I'm going through a bit of a reading slump at the minute, so I'm hoping that this little book refresh will set me up for better things. But I'm gonna need to donate this in like chunks, because it's not like local to me, this book nook, so yeah, I can't just take like all of these through to it in one bulk. But yeah, if you guys have read any of these books, let me know in the comments. If you have any opinions about the tab situation, if I should leave them on, if I should take them off, let me know. But thank you guys so much for watching another one of my book videos. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye guys!